Hello and welcome to the Global Digital Conference to Work Reimagined. I'm John and I'm your host today, live from London. And joining me this morning is Jordan. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Jordan Phillips. I sit within our staffing recruitment side here at Google and very much happy to be here today.
Thanks, Jordan. So this is a global conference. It started yesterday, actually, in the Americas, yesterday afternoon, evening, our time. A whole number of sessions being run there. And then actually went through to Asia and being hosted from Singapore, and they sort of went through our night, so to speak. And now, of course, here in Europe and also Middle East and also Africa, there are thousands of you who have chosen to join us today. Thank you for spending time with us. This morning, we're going to hear from Prabhakar. Prabhakar is the Vice President of Product Development for G Suite. So that includes a whole number of products in there that we all know and love. Things like Gmail, things like Hangouts, the video conferencing solutions, things like collaborative documents where people can work together on the document at the same time. And of course, G Suite is one part of the Google Cloud portfolio. Google Cloud includes Google Cloud Platform. It has big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence. It also has things like compute and data storage and networking. And then, of course, there's things like enterprise mobile devices, mobile management, security solutions, Chromebooks, Android. And very much, we listen to your feedback, to feedback from businesses such as yourself, from individuals within businesses such as yourself, and we refine and we hone our products to make them better and even more powerful and even more simple to use for businesses, and very strong administrative controls as well. So we will hear from Prabhakar. He will be sharing his vision of where he's taking the product, where his team of people are taking these products in order to help you to really focus on collaboration, and that collaboration to help you work across businesses, sometimes with suppliers, with customers, in order to help you gain advantage in your business by using these powerful tools. After we hear from Prabhakar, we'll also have a representative, Frank, who's coming to join us from Randstad. Frank is the transformation lead at Randstad. And during the show itself, we'll be running two separate tracks. One is the Google Difference, and one is Google Cloud for Admins. The Google Cloud for Admins kind of does what it says on the tin. It's very much focused on the technical side of things. It'll talk about how to support your users, how to look at the security controls that are available, incredibly powerful security controls available there. The Google Difference will very much be slightly less technical, more involved with people who are choosing which direction they might go, which tools are the tools right for the business, being able to talk about how those tools can help the business. And businesses do tell us things are moving so fast. There is so much change going on that actually being able to collaborate across silos between different teams in the organization is becoming incredibly important. And that's where our tools can help. They're incredibly powerful and incredibly simple to use. If they're simple to use, people do use them, and we very much know that by experience. And also, today's workers, we are seeing more and more, are really requesting flexibility, the ability to work from different places. A recent study said that actually half of workers would even change their jobs if it allowed them to have more flexibility in their role. And a third of them said they would actually change jobs if they get to work from home some of the time, to work effectively and productively from home. In another study, it said by 2020, half of developers and knowledge workers could themselves be working from home. And of course, if we're thinking that's the way that the world is going, that business is moving, then how, as an organization, when we're recruiting for those real talented people, do we bring them in and actually demonstrate to them, look, if the work allows, we provide the tool set, a really powerful tool set, to allow you to do that, working flexibly, working from different locations, working on the train. And that can be a real game changer. And we are looking and do provide tools to really facilitate those flexibility and other options.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting topic. Yeah, I feel like within staffing and recruiting, I live and breathe this conversation about flexibility within the work environment. And a very relatable challenge when approaching flexibility is also, how do we make sure that our employees are working on projects and everything that they're touching, which is worthwhile? And I have conversations with developers and engineers, and it's a trend that's popping up over and over again. There is this growing demand in flexibility within the work environment, and this is growing. I've been hearing this for a long time. It's very big now.
Right.
And this also sort of seeds expectations. When you look at, and I see it more so within the younger workforce, their expectations are, why am I spending my time on very tedious things? When they can see elsewhere there are smarter and more efficient tools to be using, and they know this, they're very clued in. The IT world is very complex, it's very varied, so it's very easy for our developers and creative engineers to get caught up in very mundane, very repetitive tasks, and it's thinking about that. You know, would you rather have them spending time doing that, or would you rather have them being creative, you know, building an amazing differentiated application or feature for your users, for your clients, for your customers, you know?
Right, so that makes it right for the business if they can focus on that, and of course for those individuals themselves, that they're focusing on the right things that they find enjoyable and interesting and challenging. And to do that, of course, they do need the right tools in place in order to make that happen.
Of course. I mean, when it comes to tools, and I have this with conversations with people around me that I work, and also when I speak to professionals in the industry, we look at integration in being the most important consideration. You know, when we're bringing in tools to the environment, it doesn't matter what we're building or what we're using, it's got to fit in nicely with, as you mentioned, the solutions, the stacks that are there. And if you're creating more silos, you know this yourself, you're just creating more workload for yourself, you know?
Yes, very much so. And in fact, it leads me to think the Mary Meeker report, for example, came out, I think, a few weeks ago, and I was reading through that. And it very much talked about tools, for example, and applications, and it was saying consumer applications have very much actually driven corporate applications, actually in two different ways was my take on it. One was some corporate applications are very much more now focused on the user and trying to make it user-friendly. The other side of it, actually the slightly more scary side, is of course these incredibly smart, intuitive users that use our tools in our organizations. If they don't get the tools provided by the organisation to do whatever it is they need to do effectively and efficiently, they bring in their own tools, their own applications on their own phone, or sometimes on their work phone. And that, of course, leads to some very interesting scenarios.
You know, I did read the article. I thought it was very interesting, very thought-provoking. And it actually brings up this, you know, it kind of highlights this scary reality that is, we are bringing in applications to the business environment that are vulnerable. They're very vulnerable. They are vulnerabilities for the business and the IT world. And I think the whole approach to that is businesses need to understand, you know, why are their users doing this? There's a problem. And when you look at Gartner, they released a report recently that in 2020, a third of all successful attacks on the enterprise will be targeted to the shadow IT. And by shadow IT, we mean these applications that the users are bringing in that they're wanting to work on.
Right.
And it's that interesting thought to, well, who are these users? You know, why are they doing it? Is there insight into how they're actually getting their work done? But more importantly for thought, it's they're choosing to use these application and tools over the existing setup in that environment. And they're still doing that, even though they know that it might not have approval within the IT structure. It's just very interesting to think about.
Yes, and very much it is. And one of the things that's becoming very apparent, and certainly with the businesses that I talk to, is if the tools that are provided by the organisation actually are intuitive to use, easy to use, and get the job done, then people will use them. If they're not so easy or don't get the job done, people bring in their own. But of course, businesses need their IT departments to be in control of these things, to have the IT controls, to have the security, to own the data. So it becomes very interesting when people are not using that.
Yeah, it is a really interesting thought. And when it comes to, you know, generally when we approach this sort of area, the business needs to be mindful, it needs to adapt to what the issues are. But this really, I feel, stems from quite a natural fallout of this innovation we're seeing from these consumer applications and how it's making the users feel.
Yeah.
I know loads of individuals that use Gmail in their personal life and they feel like they're travelling back in time a little bit when they're using the existing work that's there.
Yeah, and I can very much understand that. And for example, people, we have google.com, of course, absolutely tremendous amounts of people coming to that site. We build in security and reliability into that. We also take that and move that into all of the products that we design and build.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to hear from some of our customers who are already using these products. Let's hear from those guys. We'll be back in a minute.
Brilliant.
We use G Suite to run nearly our entire business.
G Suite really is the backbone of everything we do at Sanmina.
Empezamos a utilizar Google Cloud porque necesitábamos una plataforma segura para trabajar en todo el mundo de manera colaborativa.
Jamboard provides us a better way to collaborate and explore more ideas within the same amount of time.
My commute has become my most valuable work time because of the tools in G Suite.
Tenemos más de 70 millones de clientes en el mundo. Los modelos de negocio financiero están cambiando para atender la demanda de los clientes. Y la única forma de cambiar esos modelos es innovando.
We have close to 700 people working all over the world. We need all of those people working together.
Ahora trabajamos de una forma mucho más sencilla, más colaborativa, más conectada entre empleados.
With the help of Google Collaborative Tools and G Suite, we're a lot more efficient than we were before.
We're all about pushing the envelope and learning each step of the way.
And G Suite is right there with us.
And welcome back. I hope you found that very useful and inspiring. So coming up very, very soon, we're going to hear from Prabhakar. As I mentioned earlier, Prabhakar is our Vice President of Product Development for all things G Suite. So he's going to talk to us about his vision, where he and his team are taking that set of products. He's also going to talk with a couple of our existing customers, so that will be IDEO and Nielsen. And then after that, back in the room with me here, I'm going to hear from Frank de Bilt, who is from Randstad in the Netherlands, and he's come to be with us here today live in London. And we'll hear a little bit about how the transformation has been going at Randstad and how those tools are helping that organisation. Now, in terms of the platform that you guys are listening to us, seeing us today, let me just take a moment to talk you through that. On the left side of your screen, you'll see a number of little icons. They're very self-explanatory. So you've got the agenda on there. As I mentioned earlier, we've got 2 tracks. Track 1 is the Google difference. This is the less technical track. It's talking about what will actually, what the Google products and solutions can help you with. Track 2 is the Google for Admins track, and it'll talk you through. And you can switch, you can chop and change if there's different sessions there that appeal to you in different ways. Also on there, you've got the option to give us feedback, to give us comments. We really do welcome your comments, so thank you very much. Please do share those with us. So, Jordan, thank you very much for joining me. We're going to be hearing a little bit more from you later on
today.
During this morning.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the day, everybody. Enjoy the sessions. It looks like it's going to be very interesting. So, looking forward to it all.
Okay, thank you. So, like I say, we've got Prabhakar coming up shortly. He's going to be talking with a couple of customers afterwards as well. And you get to hear directly from them, actually, what's the things that really help their business, actually what are some of the things that they might have found challenging along the way. So it's kind of, it's everything that you would need to hear. So, without further ado, let's hand over to Prabhakar. Thank you.
Thank you.